And we are live. I am the oldest man in 40K, Brad Chester, here with Mr. Brandon Valley. And we are going to do not one, but two reveals because we did not talk about Custodes yet. And Brandon's going to model some stuff. Hopefully it's not my army, which is going to be picked up later this evening. Because
I mean, it's totally your army. I'm just going to cut you short. So I thought about this long and hard. I'm like, I could get this done in a reasonable amount of time and mail it to Brad, or I could give it to somebody who's on their way driving past my house so I don't have to deal with the post office. So I took the procrastination option, and now I'm working on your army right now on stream.
You've literally got till the end of the day.
Yeah, well, let's finish introductions. I'll show everybody what I'm working on right now, and then we'll zoom into the models. So start us off.
I want to make our delay like way less, by the way. It is like crazy what the default delay is on YouTube. Just want you to know that.
What is the default delay?
I think it's an hour and a half. That's what it feels like, because I watch the stream to watch the comments, and then I look at the live stream from the other side, and I'm like, these are not even close to each other.
I think it's about 30 seconds. So that's why I don't actually watch the YouTube being recorded, because it just throws me off. Because we're like talking about things that happened a decade ago.
Exactly. Let's talk about golden bananas.
All right. So let me switch to my hobby cam, and we can see all the cool space rules that I'm working on.
That'd be cool, damn it. Army rule, katas. I actually like this rule quite a bit, because it looks like you can just go into any kata every single turn, or you can stand one. They've got make everybody -1 to hit and melee. They've got sustain hits, which is boss mode, and they've got lethal hits. So I kind of dig this. I don't know if it's unbelievably powerful, but I think it's fairly toolboxy and gives you some serious options. And I feel like you've just failtroned hard trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I had the background blurred, and I'm just trying to make sure we can actually see what I'm working on without it being blurry.
Oh man, this is tech support Valley style.
Hey, we got to try these new things out. Why is this not working? There.
All of the things, some of the stuff. In my camera view.
Okay. We'll just do it the hard way.
Ah, man, I forgot that I have Tau in my background still. But I like these martial stances, the katas.
Yeah, they're easy. So I didn't like how you had to rotate between every one, and you had to like shuffle a deck, and that was just a huge pain in the butt. So this seems way more practical and streamlined.
And you could just go back to them, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can do it multiple times.
Right. You just choose. I mean, it's literally start of the fight phase. Select one of these stances. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not as versatile in what they do. They're all basically melee focused, but you get a little bit more mojo with it. I do love the fact, with all the devastating wounds we've been seeing, that they straight get the Emperor's Chosen detachment rule, which is 4+ Theano Pain against mortal wounds.
That's a very powerful buff for them.
Exactly, KR. Per fight phase is good. Simplified, which is good. Don't have to guess what will be happening in turn 3. I like it. There is no movement stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's completely all in the fight phase, which is good and bad at the same time. It's going to be simplified. I mean, obviously, it's going to be more. We have to remember, they're doing a much better job than they did at 8th edition launch when we went to Index Hammer, because people actually have real rules right now, which I think is a million times better. And then, of course, you have the Codex for more stuff. But they're at least giving you some rules to play with, which I think is a bet.
The baseline with all the special rules. I mean, by special rules, I mean like army-specific rules is definitely higher than it was in 8th edition.
Oh, 100%. It's not even close. Yeah,
but I still think we're losing a little bit of the fluff. Like, I know we're going to be talking about it with the Ork preview, but instead of like calling them Goths, they just like the Wa tribe.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's because you're playing Index Hammer. You don't have a Codex. You know what I mean?
It still makes me sad, though.
I mean, I'm just happy that it's not freaking pure numbers on an index sheet like it was in 8th. You know what I mean? Where we just went, hey, you want lore? Go fuck yourself. Read a book. So that's a real thing. Hey, well, let's talk about dudes that have some lore. Also pulled the sheets right out of the High Lords of Terra when they tried to scam on G-Man. Trajan Valoris, who's kind of not messing around. The fact that he's literally got a strength 10 AP2 3 damage weapon that's 6 attacks, but he's got some legit rules on it. He's straight up got Feel No Pain, 5 up. He's got the leader so he can join squads. And the fact that he once a game at the start, once per battle, at the start of the fight phase, you can either straight up make him have 12 attacks, have him have fights first, or the significant one, hey man, I think I'm just going to rock out a 2-up invuln save. That seems legit, man.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And did you notice he actually has a damage 3 weapon now?
Yeah. I mean, he can really put some people down on that.
Compared to, for the longest time, where every single army or weapon in that army was damage 2.
And I also like the fact that, like, his just straight up Captain General is when he's leading a unit, you ignore all modifiers of models in the unit and basically get to reroll. So you just ignore all modifiers if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the thing is, it's almost like keen senses at that point in time. He can just go, I just don't feel like having any modifiers, ballistic skill, minuses, whatever. But it's also a Ken, so if he's getting a plus to something, he can use that. So he's legit on this. Also, why did I just get real fuzzy for a second? There we go. Not really sure. My camera just decided to unfocus me, but things happen.
It's because you're vibrating in and out of time. That's why.
I mean, that is true also.
No, I think for beat stick characters, he's definitely a beat stick character. The moment of Shackle being once per game is kind of a bummer, but he's definitely going to be putting the hurt down.
Yeah, I agree. KR goes, he's worse than he was before with no rerolls at all, and that is a big deal because so many people have rerolls. But he does come stock with the ignore modifiers when he joins a unit is going to be a pretty big deal, especially if we're people that have defensive or you're using weapons that do impose modifiers on you. I think that's going to be, it's really going to be what else we get with him, to be perfectly honest. So I think he's going to be good. He's not out of control, but he's legit. You know what I mean? So I would like to see him have some sort of rerolls on this, but I guess they, instead of rerolls, they basically said, we're just going to ignore modifiers. And we'll see how many modifiers we have. That might actually be a big deal, against a lot of armies, as opposed to rerolls. So we will have to see on that. So let's talk about some Allarus Custodians.
And wow, these guys, they're pretty durable now. I bet you people are going to be buying these up, just like Land Raiders. I
mean, it's T7. That's a very odd number. I like it. We'll see on that. I like the fact that they're straight up just, I'm assuming that we'll get that ward gear up on them, which is +1 to their objective control. So their objective control 3. So that's just impossible to steal an objective from them, which is a big deal in that.
And then they have the ability to teleport around the table like Crisis Suit Commanders can now. Yep. And that's a very strong ability. Like if someone's running away from you or you find yourself out of position, just to be able to redeem strike. Strong.
Freaking Kyle out of nowhere. Land Raiders. They did get slower. They're 5 instead of 6 now. I do like the fact that against characters, monsters, or vehicles, they're straight up just rerolling wounds. And it's attacks too, so it's shooting and melee.
And for what we've seen, like even though they still have damage 2 on the spears, damage 3 on the axes, like there has been a significant, actually I don't think we've seen any damage reduction really. No. So they are going to be killing tanks like it's their job.
Yeah, I mean, just rerolling everything, and they've got assault on their range weapons, which is legit, so we can run around and then throw stuff. So I like that. I like the once per battle that you can just pick a guys up and just put them wherever the hell they want is legit also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these dudes are legit. Depending on how we score secondaries and stuff like that, it doesn't say how many guys are in a squad in any of these. I'm assuming that's always on the other side of the card. But if they can be done in one-man squads again, this will be super nuts. Because you can just, super shenanigans. You can raise a banner, perform an action, and then deep strike on the other side of the board and get behind enemy lines or something like that.
Have they talked about missions really at all yet?
No. Not that I've seen.
Yeah, so we're not entirely sure they still have like actions, you know.
Yeah,
But
I'm just saying,
maybe.
if they don't, then the unit will be significantly less useful. I mean, it's not that they're going to be terrible, but like, if you can take them as ones and they can bounce around and do actions and things of that, that'll be pretty badass, to be honest with you. So, I'm looking forward to that. We'll just see, because that'll be badass. You know what's weird? Let's go to these Sisters of Silence.
Talk about a glow up. The Sisters of Silence are fantastic.
Yes.
As soon as I saw them, I took a screenshot and sent them to Mike Henderson, who really, really wants Sisters of Silence to be good. I'm like, my boy, it's your time. You're gonna win a GT.
These are actually really good. One, well, if you're playing a Psychic Army, they're just taking a 3-up against everything. They have a Feel No Pain against psychic attacks.
And since most psychic powers are just shooting attacks,
Yeah, they get a save and a Feel No Pain.
Yeah. And then they have precision, right? When precision devastating wounds if they're targeting against a unit that's a psyker.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Yeah, I mean, it's not even just that. It's precision and devastating wounds. You know what I mean? So you could do some serious damage for I'm assuming it's going to be a cheap unit again. They actually have some real abilities now.
It's like, hey, Mr. Farseer, no one wanted to take you before. However, no one's definitely going to want to take you now because of these guys.
Matt, feel like actions are gone. Surely it would have come up by now, right? Hashtag release the missions. Yes. So much freaking yes, man. Oh.
I mean, they might, though, because we're coming to the close on what armies they can actually talk about. And if the rules are going to be formally released on the 24th with the starter box, what are they going to talk about for 2-3 weeks? They have to talk about mission design or fundamentals of the game, I'd imagine.
You know, because you're just glossing over this, can you turn it slightly sideways so people can see that my thunder hammers are unicorn heads?
Oh, yes. Let me just hold it there.
That's how you hit somebody in the head, sweetie.
Yes.
So I made them bright purple because they're unicorns, and the unicorn shields that you have for the storm shields, we painted them a metallic pink, which I'll have to do another coat on because it kind of failed a little bit. But metallic pink, and then there's the golden horn.
Yes. Unicorn horns for the win. That's how you model. Oh, send me back when you give it to. Give me my dice tray when you send it, please. Oh, and Alan's models.
So I'm going to send Alan's models, the Space Wolf cards, the Space Wolves box, and whatever objective markers. That's all I have.
Yeah, those are Scott and Julie's markers that I went. She asked, the real story at the invitation goes, "You borrowed my markers. Can we get them back?" "No problem." And I hand them to her, and she looks at the table and goes, "Do you not have any markers?" I go, "Absolutely not. Can I borrow those markers again?" She goes, and just hands them back to me.
Is she brand new to you?
No, she knows. She messaged me 2 days ago and goes, "So is there any chance you've actually gotten a hotel or anywhere to stay for MCM?" And I go,
Never. The answer is always never.
"Absolutely not."
Brad, the most functional, responsible adult I know.
You're welcome. Exactly. I want to imagine it makes a sparkle noise and releases a cloud of glitter when it whacks someone. That's how you get that extra damage.
So at Adepticon, we picked up these metal alchemy metallic paints. And I think what I'm going to do is, after I'm done just getting some dry brush silver on all the belts of guns, I'm going to dry brush this metallic pink, like it's like a rose pink, on the unicorn heads, just to give it a little more pop. I think it'll look pretty good.
I like it. I like where your head's at.
But I still need to figure out like all the squad markings for.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this Executioner Great Blade, and we've got another one of the anti-weapons. So Anti-Psyker 4, Devastating Wounds. So that means that you're doing 2 mortals every time you roll a 4 to wound, because that's the damage of the weapon.
Right.
So my question is that does this work? Does the anti work no matter what the other keywords are? So if you had a knight that was a psyker, would you just pick up your big stick and just rock them out with mortals?
See, I would assume so because of how it's worded. So
yeah.
that means that a 10-girl squad with Great Blaze could potentially kill a knight.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking. I was just like, Man, half of the wounds are going to be straight into mortals. That's a lot of mortals, man.
So something that we branched over a little bit. They did Misericordias wrong.
Actually, they already said it. I should have read it at the bottom in the small print. If you're planning on hunting down a colossal night abominant or the new psychic monstrosities from Hide 3 Leviathan. So yeah, it's just going to rock it. Yeah, Matt goes, you should probably learn how to read. I mean, that's not what you wrote in the quote in the comments, but that's how I read when you said it. I look at the pictures. Come on, everybody knows how I read. Ooh,
Brad does have a 3rd grade reading level.
Pictures. Ooh. I do like this vigilant ending. I wish it wasn't only once a game for each unit. So it's 1 CP, and you just get a model back, which is a big deal in Custodes.
Not characters, not bikes.
Characters, just... not bikes. Infantry characters. Sorry. You get an infantry model back, which is a big deal when you're talking about wardens, Allarus Custodians, and stuff like that. But, like, it would be nice if you could just use it every turn. You got to kind of spread the love around. But you're still getting, like, a lot of money back. Yeah, points back in guys over the course of the game.
But let's take it back, look back at the Terminators. They did do something a little interesting. So now you used to be able to get a Misericordia on every single guy, and you'd get that extra attack. 1 extra attack per unit, or per dude. It appears that's gone.
Yeah, KR was saying that. And because the Misericordia does not have extra attack on it, which I was actually surprised that it wasn't just listed as extra attack, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's been. That's how it's been since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So
since Misericordias. Since they were in existence. Vigil Unending. They have the coolest name strats, by the way. The Custodes are badass. They need to be just straight hero hammer. Because when you read the stories on them, all those dudes are just like super crazy mutants, basically. They don't even interact with their armor from Black Carapace. They just wear it like hardcore model. You're just like, we don't need this shit to interact. I'm just hardcore. They're hardcore, baby.
Okay.
Brit agrees. She knows.
Brit is the expert in 40k.
Brit is an expert in 40k, especially the lore. When I think 40k lore, I think Brittany.
Yeah, right.
And for those of you who do not know who Brittany is Brad's lovely wife, who is providing commentary in the background.
Yes, she is. Let's go over to orcs, and then we'll compare and contrast and see which one we like.
Okay, let's do it.
Oops, I gotta scroll up and get the good green tide picture.
Oh my god, you suck.
Well,
so what was your? Do you feel excited about the Custodes release? I know we've been basing a lot of our decisions and like ranking based on how excited we were. Were they an exciting release for you?
They were medium. They weren't terrible at all. They released a named character, Trajan, which I thought was good. We had to see how big of modifiers are. That ability might be terrible, it might be amazing. You know what I mean? And it really depends for me on whether we're doing actions and things of that nature. And Allarus can still be taken in 1-man units. That unit's either going to be bonkers. You know what I mean? Or it might just be overpriced Terminators.
I mean, a brick of those 10 to shift would be pretty difficult to move, I think.
You know what? I didn't even know that lore. Matt just dropped a lore bomb on me and something I didn't know. Weirdest Custodes fluff is they don't even paint their armor. They adjust it at the molecular level. I didn't even realize that. I hope you're not making that up because that's a cool thing. I'd be sad. Let's go into the WOG.
Let's do it.
Let's
hear WOG.
WOG.
Let's rate that WOG, everybody. I'm gonna say a C+. That's kind of.
Hey, man. I got the wife in here. I didn't want to yell in the microphone. It's a WOG, baby. It's a WOG. It's what orcs do when they get psyched.
And guys who like playing 40k at tournaments.
That's true. Orc units from your army are eligible to declare a charge in turn they advance, which is awesome. Add 1 to strength and attacks. Still pretty awesome. It's Goff rules. And you have a 5-up invuln. Pretty much the same as now if you're just playing Goffs. But that's good. You know what I mean?
Definitely solid. They did, I guess nerf speed freaks a little bit. How they were getting extra shots but I
Yeah,
mean, this is still a really good ability.
right. Well, the only thing is it's just for a turn. It's until the start of the next battle round, which is no longer the the 2-phase walk that we have right now. So, weapon spotlight was kind of blah. That is true. Yes, Matt. Orc players are required to scream it at the top of the lungs. Sorry, it's the law.
Tell it to Sean Nayton. Like I've seen him at tournaments playing with his orcs, and he gives the least strong walk.
Walk. No, he has his kid.
Not even.
He has he has the best walk because he actually has his son on his phone doing a walk, and he'll do that when it's time to walk. So it's fantastic because it's cute. So I think this is legit. You know what I mean? And the fact that they just get straight up exploding sixes all the time, also legit. You know what I mean? So 2 for 2 on good, you know what I mean, as far as base rules. So I think that's legit. Feels very orky. I mean, it feels very goth. It is the law of the wog.
So then we go down to the beast Snaggas, who, correct me if I'm wrong, did they have a 5-inch movement last time?
What's that?
Didn't beast Snaggas move 5 inches previously?
The regular guys for fights, it's all over the place with them. I think the beast Snaggas are badass too.
They have feel no pain too.
Instead of +1 to hit on monsters and vehicles now, they get a reroll to hit. And it's also in its attack. So it's each time a model unit makes an attack that targets a monster vehicle, you can reroll the hit. So basically even their shooting attacks, which they don't have a ton of shooting, but still, you know what I mean? Even those, you put in a couple specials and stuff in there.
Yeah, but if your goal is to generate sustained hits, that's a great way to do it.
That is true. Does going second make the wog weird? Your opponent can know if you have advance and charge ahead of time. Let's scroll back up here. It's at the start of the battle round. That is true, because I want to make sure it was said that. Because you have to declare it at the beginning of the round. So your opponent's move will be dependent on the fact that they know that you have advance and charge. So yes, going second is going to be a little bit of an issue. That does suck that you're not calling it at the beginning of your turn. You know what I mean?
That is very weird.
Yeah, because, you call the wog and your opponent's just like, yeah, man, I'm just going to back up. You only get it for 1 turn, so I'll be over here if you need me. So, these things are pretty legit, man. If it's normal right now, the Beast Snagga knob will come with Power Snap is what he does right now. Mm-hmm. So Strength 7, AP 1, 2 damage. They'll be exploding, of course, +1 attack, +1 strength in the wog. So that's legit. The guns are just, they are what they are. Sluggas and a thump gun, but you're gonna have a bunch of sluggas. So
yeah, but did you notice that the Choppa kept the AP 1, where a lot of weapons lost AP?
Well, it's also strength 5, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's strength 5 on that, so it'll be strength 6 on the charge. And again, you have exploding sixes. That is true. You get the invuln up if you go on going second. So you have a little bit more of a defensive wog, I guess you can do. I don't think it's bad. It's just, it's kind of a, 6 of one, a half dozen of another, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just a different mentality. I mean,
is that a grav gun?
I mean, this is your grav gun, yes. They look like that. They look like glass cannons.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming this is 3D printed, so.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, so I'm just painting him silver, then I was going to do some glowing blue effect on him.
Jonathan, I agree on that. Side grade, yeah, because it has some uses. It has some tactical uses on that. Because your opponent can play into you if you're trying to be aggressive, but you can play into your opponent if you want to be defensive, And it's funny because, sometimes you're going to call the wog especially when you go second, you call the wog for the defense, but also to intimidate your opponent into not pushing up. So you might actually bully them into not going into the middle and taking objectives.
I mean, it definitely has some utility.
Exactly, Matt, because who doesn't log in turn one no matter what?
Most Ork players.
You just get to the table and immediately log. Pre-game log. Deployment zone. Deployment log.
We're going right on the edge, boys. If we go first, it's going to be good. But if we go second, good game.
I don't know in that Kara. Kara goes, so Battle Shock doesn't affect things like the WOG that I have seen. We haven't seen how Battle Shock interacts with all the special rules, to be perfectly honest with you.
So far, it makes them turn to objective controlled 0. It makes them
no strats.
not being able to be targeted by stratagems. And if you fall out of combat, you take the mortals.
So
it's not too bad.
Yeah. I do love the fact that Beast Snagga boyz and Necrons have the same leadership now. Oh, sorry, machines. Suck it, Trebek.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting a rule base where your leadership is modified based on squad size, but I guess this is just more straightforward.
You know, Matt is correct. A tactical orc is a disappointment to both Gork and Mork. I think Ghazghkull looks like a motherfucker, by the way. I
will say I'm low-key depressed that he has rapid fire 4 and not rapid fire 12. We see the potential for insane quantities of shots, and the fact that he can't get 24 shots at half distance.
This is a big deal on this. He's got 1 billion attacks, you know what I mean, with his gun, which, yeah, it's BS5. But the fact that his claw is strength 14, AP 3, damage 4, you know, it's good. He's not as awesome as some of the other characters we've seen that have like sweep attacks with 14 attacks and stuff like that, or Freedom's Hand or anything. But he now can, yeah, but he's 10 wounds and can join a unit, man.
Yeah.
And when he's leading a unit, it add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the rune roll for the whole unit, man, which includes him. That's pretty nuts. +1 to hit, +1 to wound for a unit every turn.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys will fuck shit up, man.
Now, we don't know which units he could join, but I imagine he's going to be joining unit Mega Knobs, which are generally going to be hitting less frequently because they have Power Claws. But +1 to hit, +1 to wound with Power Claw.
Yeah, he's infantry now. He's sneaking through wall. He can't be targeted. He's going through wall. Well, we get to see that, but we're just assuming that he's infantry going through walls. He can go through walls. He joins unit, can't be targeted anymore. He's giving +1 to hit, +1 to wound. I think this dude's badass.
Yeah, the fact he could join a unit. I mean, they got rid of wound caps, but we kind of assumed that they were going to be getting rid of those just as a general damage reduction all across the board for the game.
I mean, he's also the thing is that if you've called the WOG and it's only 1 turn, but like anybody within 12 inches of Makari, which is you're right next to him, which is pretty much everybody. That's a giant pie plate. You know what I mean? Is getting lethal hits also, so you can crack into tanks and stuff. I mean, there is a chance that nothing goes through walls. We have no idea. We haven't seen the terrain rules, so that's a big deal on that. But I think he's a motherfucker. Also, Makari just straight up has his 2-up invuln like he did before, which you can't reroll. So don't take a zillion wounds on him.
I'm glad they spelled it out at least.
Yeah. And Gaz is just looking legit, man. You know what I mean?
Well, the good, so something to keep in mind too is with wound allocation. I think they released this, but you put all the wounds on the squad first, then characters.
Well, you know how you can't even
is.
target the characters. It's
unless you have precision.
Exactly. It's the same as he used to be, though. Even if you're hand to hand with him, like if he's with a squad, you all the wounds go on the bros, and then he just beats the shit out of people.
No, what I'm saying, Brad, is like back in 7th, 6th, like when you had your Death Star and the characters would take the wounds because they had a rerollable 2+ save. Makari isn't the one tanking the damage for the unit.
Right, because of the fact he can't. Yes.
But when, that squad's dead,
Yeah, then you just drop
it. It gives a very reasonable amount of protection for Ghazghkull.
100%. Plus, he's got a sweet ass banner. PJ's in the house. Let's go to the. Well, let's. You know what? I'm skipping the weapon spotlight because it's all the Stompa shit, and I want to go to some of the strats because they're badass. I'm going all the way to the bottom.
Here we go. Over squib launches.
I'm gonna go back up.
Okay.
But here we go. Add 2 to advance encouragement. Legit. You know what I mean? So, especially if you've called the WOG, you literally move in advance +2, and then you charge at +2. I mean,
it's going to help those Terminators,
it's going to help Ghazghkull and his big ass unit come in and puts the beating on you with lethal hits, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. He is true. The character goes, he's slow. He can still fit in a battle wagon with the support units and the big thing. Who knows? I mean, if he can right now. So that's a big deal if we do that. So especially if they have, we haven't seen the battle wagon. So if it has assault ramps or anything like that, that'd be fucking crazy time.
Oh yeah, it's probably also going to be toughness 12.
Yeah, it's not fucking around. So I mean, that's legit. Then they have Fight on Death. Orcs is never beaten. We've got a lot of people with Fight on Death strats that they showed so far.
Yeah, but with this Fight on Death strat, like let's say you do a unit of 30 Ork boys, or how many you can take in a unit, that adds up way more than just 5 guys fighting on death.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be legit on that. So let's talk about squig launchers. Pew pew! Blast, ignores cover, indirect fire. 6+D6 attacks, still hitting on 5s because it's orcs. Strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. Legit. How do you say Land Raiders in Orcish? Same way you do it in Spanish. Land Raider O.
Strong.
I'm multilingual. Everybody knows it.
You're something. I don't know. Multilingual is the word I'd use in this part.
Whatever. Potato, potato, my friend. Potato, potato. So, I
mean, it's solid. It's once again another example of units that ignore or have indirect fire, but ignore cover. So it's just kind of like, really?
Yeah, you get the benefits of cover, except for they ignore it. So you get the benefits of going to fuck yourself. Yes. The thing is that this is a significant amount of shots, to be honest with you, especially because it has blast. So if you're running a horde army, if you're running big things, this gets a metric ton of shots.
I think the real question is, will you be able to take a unit of 3 like now, or it's just going to be individual?
I don't know, to be honest with you. They could stop a lot of shenanigans by only having indirect be single things as opposed to units.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not taking 3s or shit of mortars and market trucks and desolators taking squads of 10, you know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't become as oppressive. So we will see if they've learned the lessons of the past.
I'm going to go with no. But, I mean, this is a fantastic unit for knocking out Space Marines. I mean, AP2, ignoring cover, so your basic Space Marine's getting a 4-up save and with only 2 wounds. I mean, you're just getting those random pop shots that knock out your backfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's 36 inches, so you can basically put it wherever the hell you want and just shoot the board. So this is legit. It was legit before. Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't have like some freebooter shit, which we won't. So, want to talk about Punch Punch Pew Pew from Stompas?
Let's do it. Do you think we'll finally see Stompas on the table?
Absolutely not.
Sorry, guys.
But
they're such a cool model.
I love the fact that the Stompa just have every bullshit thing strapped on. You know, I mean, this is Orc Stompas are just the hillbilliest of hillbilliest vehicles.
I mean, an Orc Stompa is taller than Brad, so
you should have to literally do the horn every time you shoot them. Def Cannon Blast, 3d6 attacks, strength 14, AP3, damage d6. Meh, it has 72-inch range. It's like a wacky battle cannon that doesn't get a beat on people.
I mean, you're averaging on 3d6, 10.5 hit shots. You're going to hit 2 times.
Well, let's go to the fact. Their guns shooting at you, it's, it could be some shit. However, the fact that their sweep attack is 18 attacks, strength 10, AP 2, 3 damage. Well then.
Yeah.
And also the Mega Choppa strength, they went Freedom Hand, hold my moonshine. 6 attacks, 24 strength, AP 5, 10 damage. Take that, you silly Uman.
That is a strong weapon.
Yeah. It ain't trying to hear that, see. You know what I mean? It's this thing, if it touches you, is gonna do bad things to you. I'd love it though if the Mega Choppa just randomly can be put on like a Death Dread or something. It's just this gigantic arm dragging behind the Death Dread. But yeah, I like this a ton. It will have to see the speed of the Stompa, because this might be legit if you can just run at people all willy-nilly.
Yeah, but if he's benefiting from the wall.
Yeah, I mean...
You get advance and charge, you get additional attacks, exploding 6s.
+1 strength also, so when you have to be strength 25.
Oh, yeah.
It is 6 attacks with exploding 6s also. So that's like super legit.
I mean, that's killing a knight, realistically, because knights don't have a invuln save in combat.
Just, all right, take 60 damage.
Got this.
He's just going to be Voltroning people. This might be a reason to take a Stompa.
I think it would be fun.
It would definitely be fun. What do you got here? What do you paint? What is that pink? What's happening here?
This is the metallic pink I'm going to dry brush unicorn heads with.
What is that? Are you put that in a condom? What the fuck is that?
It's a silicone cup. So I use this for UV resin just because it's easy to wash out and clean. It's also very good for acrylic based paints. So it allows me to wash everything out and keep it clean. Yeah. But if you want to use this as a condom, I mean, you can. Also, how's my camera feed? I feel like it's really bright for some reason. I'm not entirely sure.
So bright.
I'm not entirely sure why. Let me try something.
Have you ever thought about not being as bright?
I mean, I'm a very energetic and bright person, I guess.
Look at you bringing the pain. While we do this, if guys, gals, orcs, if you could like and subscribe, check out the Patreon. It helps a ton. We are getting so close to the goal so we can start doing GWE things with GW. That would be great. Even fantastic. Let's scroll back up. I'm going back to Ghazghkull.
It should be a little better now. Is that a little better?
Oh, a million times better. I'm putting up a poll.
Who had the more exciting release? Is that the poll?
Yep. I'm putting them up right now. Who had the more exciting reveal? Golden Bananas or Orcs Mojo? Putting it to the people. I'm out in the streets. Taking it to the streets.
So, for me, let's turn this camera off. There we go. All right. So for me, I think the Orc reveal was definitely more exciting. You got to see Ghazghkull. You got to see the Mega Choppa. Will people take a Stompa? Who knows?
Yeah, but it was really cool to just have a strength 24. Sorry, it's probably strength 25 because you're going to be charging with it.
Right? With sustained hits, like it's definitely more exciting. I was actually really surprised at how long it took them to feature orcs. I would have think orcs would have been one of the first armies, like week 1.
Stompa is for the win. That's KR coming in with saying the orcs, even though he is the crowned prince of the Golden Bananas.
But let's give these guys a rating while people are doing the voting.
You know what?
So,
I agree with Matto on this. He goes, orcs he feels that orcs won because Custodes still have a million questions about how they're going to work as an army. Orcs gonna orc. 100%, man. Orcs are going to do orc stuff, and Custodes, we do have to know how a lot of those rules work together, how a lot of the mechanics, can we take them in ones, actually what's price, points are. So, yeah, I agree on that.
Actually, Can a Stompa fight on death with that stratagem?
Let's scroll down. This is make everybody freaking sick. Yeah, one orc shooter from your army. There you go. You're about to get fight on death with a Stompa, bitch.
Yeah, that yes.
Shit's
100%
going down. Oh,
hey, if that Stompa makes it across the table and gets into combat, it 100% deserves a fight on death.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. That Stompa, I'd love to see it kill in close combat so I can fight on death and somebody's just like, that can't be a thing. You're about to be hit by my weapon,
I remember one of the stratagems being infantry. So the fact that it's just orc unit, fantastic. Take a unit of non-bikers if they still exist and make them fight on death. Because they're getting there.
I'm just excited to see how many sixes you can get on an orc Stompa hitting with that giant ass fucking choppa. Oh man, it looks like I got 4 sixes. Bringing the pain at 10 damage apiece. Or just the sweep attacks. You're going to get a decent amount. It's freaking strength 10. You know, the sweep attacks with damage 3. It is 18 attacks. You're just going to get explosions. Yeah, Thunderhammer Termies are looking real nervous at that point in time. Stompa's coming to... Ain't trying to hear that, see? They ain't playing those games. Woo!
Stompa's coming to Christmas, and he's going to mess it up for everybody. All right, so let's get these guys a rating, Brad. How about them Custodes?
Custodes felt very... Got a lot of questions. I would say bottom of B.
So B minus?
Yeah. But they didn't feel bad, but they didn't feel great. We had a named character, but a lot of the things are going to see how everything else is. And, whether we had a lot of questions still. So I wasn't as excited about them. Matt really took it away with that, Just Custodes have so many questions still, and orcs are going to work. So I think that Custodes we're waiting for more information.
The Sisters of Silence actually getting a little bit of love. That's pretty fun. Definitely excited to see them on the table more often. But yeah, I always personally thought Custodes were a very boring army just because of the lack of unit selection and the fact that it's another super elite, superhuman fighting force. So I wasn't prone to be very excited about them to begin with. So I could see a B minus.
Yeah, they still look strong though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't look bad, but they're also Custodes. Also, I do think their damage output's going to increase substantially with the reduction of damage reducing abilities.
Agreed on that. And the thing with that is it is a big deal right now that you're looking at Custodes with probably no damage reduction on that, them doing a decent amount of damage, ignoring the modifiers with Trajan might be a huge thing for hits and wounds, and we'll see what size they come in.
I mean, they still have fantastic leadership. They're still hitting on 2s. I mean, they're going to come in when they get there and hit like a ton of bricks. And with the deployment options, with the reveal stratagems to deep strike in your opponent's turn.
But 4-up to mortals, this seems like a big deal because like every army that I'm theory crafting with the little that we know is centered around devastating wounds, mortal wounds. So that's just going to be a thing. It's
a hard counter to the Space Marine build if we're thinking about team tournament events and ATC and WTC.
Agreed on that. Agreed. Orcs, I thought Orcs was pretty badass, man. They had a sweet-ass weapon. They had Ghazghkull. They have a pretty good, I mean, we already have it, a Wog ability, which you can use a little bit. Again, it is a step sideways, a side grade.
But orcs are going to be your anti-meta pick. Like, we're already talking about how it's going to be a vehicle-based meta. And if we're looking at orcs, yeah, they might have a vehicle, but they're still going to be bringing a ton of dudes. And a ton of dudes who hit hard in combat.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that joins Ghazghkull also is going to just fuck shit up. I mean, again, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. That's pretty legit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love the fact that you can get in there and bang out. So that's the thing. The boys, the Snagga boys look pretty good. So we'll see. We'll also see they might have fairly vehicle heavy anyways, though. They might put the return of, the skill rigs.
All the Obamas and...
Well, you get skill rigs and the battle wagons and the what's his face, the wagons, bone breakers and shit like that, you might be able to just load the shit out of those and rock and roll.
And they have the Psyker vehicle too, so your Sisters of Silence are going to come in, knock those out in no time.
Yeah. So many psych, that would be so nuts. Sisters of Silence shooter just picks up a skill ring because it's freaking Devastating Wounds anti-psyker. That's when you start bringing the bone breakers instead of the skill rings. You don't want to be anti'd.
Hey, remember that time I was talking about taking Sisters of Silence as a joke, but now it could be a very real possibility moving forward?
That is like a real thing, man. So...
And they're going to have the ones with the scout moves, right? And if those flamers are anti-psyker...
Ooh. See you later, Zinch / Thousand Suns. Man, that seems legit.
All right, can you see the metallic?
Metallic?
Oh.
Man, as long as the unicorn heads pop, I'm in.
That's the goal.
All of the jeez, I love it. I don't know. What grade do you think we're giving the orcs?
I think the excitement's real. I mean, just seeing how all the chats I'm a part of just came alive talking about orcs, way more than Custodes, in my opinion, and just the sheer love of orcs by the community. I think it got people thinking. I think it's going to shake up the meta that's been released so far. I think they're pretty strong. I would say an A-.
I'm asking Alan, what's the tier? He's an orc boy. He's got all of the orcs. He's got all of the everything, but he also has a lot of orcs. So we'll say he's a lot of orcs. So I'm stoked about it. So I want to see. I would definitely give him. I think I'm giving him a high A.
You think a high A? So based on our revised schedule that we went over on our Meta Monday show, they would be in the same category as Guard at a high A, Chaos Knights as a regular A, and Tau as a regular A. So how do you think they line up?
I think they might be at the top of that. They're definitely competing with the Chaos Knights. You know what I mean? So I would say that they're A tier right in there. Chaos Knights brought a lot of juice too.
My concern is with orcs, and why I'm not giving them that high A, is the fact that their leadership is terrible.
Yeah, but we haven't seen. I'd like to.
Yeah, but if you can't control an objective because you had to take a battle shock test.
True. I kind of thought they were going to have the mob rule, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So the fact that you can have your 30-man squad on this objective, and they just magically, hey, I lost my ability to hold objectives.
I just don't
would
think
feel really bad.
I don't think you're going to have big mobs again, though. To be honest, I think you're going to have squads go inside bone breakers and battle wagons and shit like that, and jump out and put the beats on people.
I mean, we could definitely see MSU orcs. That was very popular this edition because of them doing the boys dirty.
Yeah, you had a bunch of 10-man squads and shit like that. I a Ghazghkull and a 10-man like mega knob squad getting out of a battle wagon is going to be like pretty fucking hardcore.
Oh, if a battle wagon doesn't have assault ramps, I think we're all going to be disappointed.
Yes. I mean, that's if they have assault ramps, Ghazghkull and a unit of like mega knobs is going to be terrifying coming out with +1 to hit, +1 to wound, with exploding sixes. You know what I mean? Whoo! Shoe doggy. Ain't trying to hear that, see? That is going to be a no fucking around zone.
So we're giving them an A? Split the difference?
Yeah, I'll give him an A.
Yeah. I'm concerned about leadership.
I can understand. I can see that. However,
I think they're very exciting. It was a fun release. People were excited to see them finally get released, but I'm just concerned about all the leadership shenanigans that the top tier armies are going to be doing.
This Brandon guy has been killing it the last couple of weeks. The people's champion. The people's champ, indeed.
Because I'm trying to provide a counterpoint to Brad's hype.
I'm always hype. Except for when I got to sell.
Yeah, but I gotta provide that counter opinion, Brad. Makes it interesting.
Bashing heads. I could see that it could be a strat. For sure.
And they do have the strat in the book that you're allowed to do, so.
Oh, 69% Orc Mojo right now.
All right. So we'll give those orcs an A on the tier list. We'll put them in the mid A. So
The mid of the A.
yeah. So
right up in there. Right up in there.
We'll have to look at your super sophisticated tier list with outdated books again. On Monday, I assume. Whoops, I just broke it.
I can't take you anywhere, man.
Hey, the way I got these models from you, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That is indeed Dad Chester. I'm looking forward to MCM also. I'll be showing up tomorrow evening.
So yeah, let's talk about what our weekend plans are, Brad. So
I'm planning on doing some stuff and things tomorrow at MCM, doing some coaching mojo, hanging out, drinking some wine, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm planning on winning this event, trying my bestiest, putting in my the old college try.
So what are you coaching about?
Actually, a couple of people that are coming down, I'm going to do some coaching for the event. So instead of the regular ones, I was just like, hey, we could do coaching on their actual tables.
Now, is this something that people can just jump in on, or is it invite only?
I mean, they could show up, but I've got a couple people coming that I'm already planning on coaching, doing their schedules coaching in there. But I'll be around. So I'm planning on basically...
This is a good opportunity for the community to come out and learn how to learn for the best.
I'm planning on hanging out basically all night tomorrow at the event, doing some coaching, drinking some wine, chilling out, and just talking toy soldiers. So it is the thing.
And then what army are you playing, Brad?
I'm playing those. I'm legitimately playing the army that he has in his hand right now.
Mind you, I am 7.5 hours away from Bradchester by car, and we're having. I was going to put these in the mail on Monday, but I'm a procrastinator, so I decided to find somebody who was driving up to MCM. So these two gentlemen, Matt and Jacob, they are driving from Jacksonville, Florida, this afternoon and going to Detroit, probably straight. That is an 18-hour trip. And I'm apparently the halfway point. So I was like, hey, guys, I'll pay you some gas money if you get this army to Brad. So Brad will have an army that's fresh, newly repainted, touched up, with squad markings, ready to go, and not lost in the mail.
Yay! Sounds so much better than randomly in the mail. The mail seems bad. In my hand seems good. Plus,
but you got to take care of them, Brad. Like,
this is Alan put together. Show him what the Thunderhammers look like now. Show him a pink Thunderhammer. I demand one. Pink unicorn Thunderhammers. I love that it was so unbelievably too bright. Now I can't see it at all.
All right. Well, let me turn some lights back on. So hold on.
I didn't know you're just gonna get butt naked in the dark, you weirdo. It's the only way I can paint.
There you go.
Oh Jesus.
How's this?
Is there somewhere between the sun and complete darkness? Do you have a mid-grade light as opposed to burn my retinas out or sit in the dark alone?
You know, I like sitting in the dark alone. All right.
Uh-oh, DeFrank in the house. Be judging your models hard this week.
How's this light?
I've given up on you.
Let me actually pull up the Skype feed.
Taking it to the streets.
It turns out maybe using a document camera for this isn't the best idea.
Yeah, because sometimes you got to read documents to people.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Except for the fact you got shaky hand. Steady, hold. You playing some CSM? Nice. Uh-oh, Golden Banana's got a couple more votes. Got to make this close into the end.
So let's talk about MCM, and then we'll talk about what I'm getting into this weekend.
I'm psyched. They got we've got 6 games that are cut to 8, and then finals, and we are literally playing the missions in order.
So you're playing that terrible mission where you can't scout ahead and infiltrate ahead.
Abandoned sanctuaries can go suck a dick, but it is part of the first 6. So It's getting done. I'm loving it. I'm ready to rock. I've been having so much fun playing the Space Wolves. It's just a fun ass army. So I've been like really enjoying rocking them out.
I mean, I'm excited that you're excited for this army to be nerfed immediately upon the release of 10th edition. It's fantastic. So I am bummed that I will not be making MCM this year. I had supported the event the last 2 times that they had it, but unfortunately I will not be able to attend. So I'll be going to Rocky Top down in Knoxville, Tennessee, and representing Death or Glory down there.
Which means, yeah, since you decided to not play the Sisters of Silence, even though you said you would take the bet.
I did take the bet, and then I literally reached out to Mike. It's like, hey, Mike, are these available? And he said, Brandon, no.
This is press X for doubt. They're like, let me see how it's going to work out. And I said, maybe. That is true. What do you got? T-Suns tomorrow?
I didn't actually see, because when I looked at the article originally, it wasn't out there yet. So are T-Suns tomorrow?
Let me take a look again. Scrolling to the bottom. Doing the things.
I'm very interested to see T-Suns. Maybe we'll get more insight about the state of psychic powers in the game.
1,000 Suns are tomorrow, baby.
But
let's see if they're going to be real sad or whether they're going to be real awesome. Sanctuary separates the men from the boys. True. So we'll see. At least we're not playing it on Type 1 this time. So...
Hey, at Rocky Top, they're not doing Sanctuary. They're doing 8 missions, and everybody has to play all 8 missions at this event, even though there's only 119 people registered, so the winner will be determined by Game 6.
I know in that, but like I've never been a big fan of the Cut 8. I like everybody playing.
I agree.
I get that they get a new, but I like Bride. To be honest, the brackets have really grown on me from the GW events. So,
well, it's fun. It allows you to spread out the prize support. It encourages people to play more just because they can brag. It's like, oh, well, I may have lost to the person who won the tournament, but I won my bracket. And that's pretty exciting.
I'm down. I'm in. Send the T-Suns to the dustbin. Yeah, and I got to put some props out there. So Zoobs is they're finalizing the judges' corner up here in Syracuse. Every non-event weekend, he's going to have the judges and cameras available to teach 10th edition, work on painting, and have Lord discos at the art store.
That's pretty exciting. I am babysitting Kyle all weekend. So Kyle told me he wants to drink all of vodka at Rocky Top.
I don't believe him. I have seen him be the sober guy next to the drunk guy. I don't know who the other drunk guy was, but he was the sober guy. It is true.
So, we have a pretty solid group going to Rocky Top. So we have Stephen Crawley, we have Sean Rice, we have Kyle, myself. Is Jason coming down?
Say again?
Is Sanowski coming down?
He is not. He is. Okay. He declared a month or two ago that he is all in on 10th edition. He goes, 9th edition is dead to me. And I go, there's a lot of time left, my friend. But he is full into 10th. I think it's also because, like, 10th basically comes out as soon as he's a teacher and he's done teaching, in the summer there. So I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm excited for the event. It's always going to be a good time. We're going to rock and roll it. I love the army I'm playing. And that's a big thing, too. For everybody playing, always bring something that you enjoy.
Oh, absolutely. So because we have tournaments going on this weekend and that they're being played Friday, obviously we won't have a faction focus on Friday. We're going to bump it to Monday on Memorial Day?
I'm down. I don't really do anything for Monday holidays, almost ever. As somebody that did a lot of food service, I was always open. So
right.
So I'm
service industry.
I'm down with that. So what time am I doing stuff tomorrow? I've got one. Depending on when they come out, I might do I might try to squeeze in a faction focus 1,000 Suns tomorrow.
Okay. What time do you think? Well, I guess we'll determine it tomorrow.
It's either going to be 12 or 2 because I have a coaching at 1. And actually, it has to be 2. It's going to be either 2 or broke. See, it's 2 or nothing. It's the only time I have an opening before I leave. So
we're not doing the hobby time with Brad tomorrow, the Bradchester Variety Hour, correct? Because you'll be coaching.
It might be. We'll see if you and Mr. Horton want to talk about things and stuff.
Well, I think so. For Thursday night, I'm going to be having some of the people who want to participate in planning for our 10th edition release come over my house and do a planning session. So I think we might just have to cancel it, Brad, just to make sure we can get that meeting done and you do your coaching.
That makes me sad. It makes me sad.
It makes us sad. You know, you and I went over to North Carolina and did it in the top of a mountain in Cherokee Open.
Also true.
Know? But I think we want to make sure the 10th edition launch is a success. And when we have our streaming weekend, so we want to just talk about the equipment needs, the personnel needs.
Oh, I've got needs.
Yes, you're one of the most needy people I know.
I have needs, damn it. Things have to happen.
So actually, how many people do we have on chat right now, right?
30? Did we add a minute ago? I guess we lost some people because I just said we were about to end, but, it's how it is.
Okay. All right, so we have some people in the chat. I would love it if you guys gave us some recommendations as to what you want to see for 10th edition launch. Right now, what we're thinking is doing having a paint-off between Leah and myself, and having nonstop gaming for a period of 12 plus hours, featuring all the different armies. We don't know the point values. We don't know who will be playing each army, but we would love to see or get some suggestions. What do you guys want to see for 10th edition launch weekend?
We're literally playing all weekend straight. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Shirtless Lyle. Done. Can we go, instead of shirtless, can we do half shirt Lyle? Maybe tank top, half shirt? I like where this is going.
This is going to be a surprise to Lyle because I don't think he realizes that he's coming and invited.
Most people didn't know they were coming and invited until I told them.
Surprise! Actually, let me turn this document camera off and jump to a regular camera so I can chat with you.
So many nerds, including the host. All of the good things, all of the stuff. Thursday night party night. Speaking of that, John and Matt, if they're still both in the chat, you guys are picking me up. So don't leave
Surprise,
Toledo,
guys!
Don't leave Toledo without me.
So I don't think we're going to have 26 people at my house. Just not enough space for them. But we're definitely going to have people who know how to play multiple armies and who play them at a top tier level. So I know Brad's probably going to be very interested to play Eldar. What are you interested in playing, Brad? Give me your top four.
I always want to play Eldar. I played Eldar in every single edition. So I'm definitely going to put some Eldar on the board. I'm going to put some demons because I think Shadows of Chaos is amazing.
So we do have Kyle coming, and I know Kyle loves demons, so we'll give him that.
I'm just going to bring Lord Croak. I don't know if I'm going to have rules for Lord Croak, but...
Maybe one day. I would still love to see Lizardmen in a 40k universe. So, sisters, I'm assuming... Or not sisters, Eldar. I'm assuming you're going to play Space Wolves, though.
Yeah. I'm going to play some puppies. I'm going to play some Eldar. I'm going to play some demons. And I'm also interested in making their live. Pajamas has a point there. I set the bar very low. I'd like to not die. There you go. That's my that's not even my 5-year plan. That's like my 5-minute plan. I'm always excited. I'm still alive. Yay! So, stuff and things.
Well, I'm still giving demons to Kyle because that's Kyle's baby. Kyle's coming to Rocky Top this weekend with his demon list. There's a very good chance he can win it all. So I'm excited to see how he does at this event. See how Tennessee treats him.
Win a chicken dinner, even?
So Stephen Crawley thinks that someone from Death or Glory is not going to win. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen this weekend.
That's just quitter talk. I don't understand what he's saying there.
Well, he's playing Tau this weekend. No idea what that Tau list is.
He's all over the place for this. I think he had 47 different factions he was considering. And 2 of them are actually war machines.
I did a a lot of work with building my list. I literally is like, hey, what's in my army bag right this minute? And that's what I'm taking.
Strong. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. See how it works out for you.
I didn't change a single thing. So whatever's in my bag right now is what I'm taking.
I love everything about this. Well, we're calling it. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate Brandon actually putting my army together. Brit's waving uncontrollably. Would you like to run inside the camera real quick?
Come on, Britt. Come on in.
Sean, you got to basically be right behind me. And that's what it's all about. Can't happen. Yes, he can.
I believe in Kyle. He has 2 GT wins under his belt very recently. So
also true.
And then Steven has 2 GT wins. He's going to be there. Sean has been consistently playing second or placing second and winning multiple RTTs all over the state of Tennessee. They all are in the running.
In the running. I'm in the running.
You're not at the end.
Cool running?
Cool running. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Come on, everybody. It's bobsled time.
And on that, we're calling it. It was a pleasure, everybody. I want to see Brad. I want to see Brad with his bobsled.